Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 202 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. This question was sent by Eddie, and he wrote, how can an existing church with a wonderful Rieger organ but dry absorbent acoustics be improved either by mechanical means or electronic reverberation systems? Any experience of this? It's in St. George's Anglican Church, Parktown, Johannesburg. Really a superb two-manual organ, but the room is quite dead and sec. I imagine early reflection panels on the side walls and perhaps even in the roof ceiling or both, or otherwise electronic reverberation system could be considered. Building is in a shoe-shaped designs by a famous South African church architect Sir Herbert Baker. And Ausra, I asked our friend and organ builder Jean Bidient to get a perspective on this, and here is what he wrote. As far as general acoustical suggestions, hard surfaces remove carpet, hard floor, irregular surfaces to diffuse sound efficiently, avoid flimsy wall panels such as thin drywall. Such panels absorb low frequency. So we're not really experts on acoustics, right, Ausra?
Yes, that's right.
But Jean probably knows quite a bit more than we, because he built many wonderful organs in different acoustical environments throughout his career. And not every church, not every building has reverberant acoustics.
That's for sure, yes.
Especially in the US. So in the case of Eddie's in South Africa situation, I think if they could really remove carpet, right, those things. Cushions, exactly. What else? In general, avoid any cloth, right?
Yes.
That would a little strengthen the reverberation a little bit, maybe 1 second or 2 seconds.
But still, I don't think you can do something significant in this kind of situation.
But then Eddie mentioned he imagines electronic reverberation system could be considered. Imagine that. I don't have an experience with this, do you?
No, I have neither, but I wouldn't do it because it sounds so bizarre. If the organ is pneumatical or, mechanical, then adding stuff like this, I don't think would work. It might make situation even worse.
And electronic reverberation system solution might be quite expensive too.
Yes.
Because I understand finances are important, right? Here.
Look at the bright side of this thing, you can do repertoire that would not work maybe in large acoustics. Do more
Like
chamber music, ensemble music. That works quite well, And in church like this, I don't know if organ is upstairs or downstairs.
He doesn't say.
Yes, but when we have, church with large acoustics and we have, for example, setting when choir has to be downstairs, for example, or the soloist has to be downstairs and the organist is upstairs, you can never, play together.
Mm-hmm.
But if the acoustic is dry, you can easily do arrangements like this. Then soloist or choir sings from downstairs and you play upstairs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it still works quite well.
And then, of course, organist has to adjust his articulation.
Yes, you don't have to articulate so much. Do a little bit more or less space between the notes. So of course you have to play in a faster tempo too.
For a lot of people, it's easier to play in dry acoustics than in reverberant ones.
Yes, that's true. Because it's more like a piano, playing piano that way.
What you play is what you hear.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like it would be quite expensive remodeling of the building then.
Yes,
If
definitely,
they
yes.
want to improve acoustics significantly.
Because I think the acoustics is such a thing that you have to think about it before building a building. No,
I know.
unfortunately, that not so many architects now considering acoustics in general, not only in churches but in concert halls as well. Like we have this Siemens Arena, so-called in Vilnius, which holds how many people? A big crowd, actually.
10,000, maybe
10,000, I would say,
15,000.
yes. I think the one in Kaunas holds 15,000, but this one in Vilnius holds like 10,000, people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's used for all kinds of different activities, for sports, for basketball, and sometimes it holds concerts as well, and acoustic is just horrible.
Mm-hmm. And Vilnius University is planning to have a special concert next year there with classical music as well, so we don't know what kind of acoustical environment it will be.
Yes. I don't know about this organ in Johannesburg. Maybe some mics would help. If you amplify the organ, I'm not sure, You really need to consult
Mm-hmm.
a sound engineer.
And Jean, in our correspondence, gave a few contacts to Eddie to contact his acquaintances in this area. So maybe Eddie can find some help further.
True. But even if you will be able to make your acoustics better, if you will have a good crowd of people coming to the service, you might lose that too. Because with each additional person, coming to the church, the acoustic is diminished greatly.
Remember what's happening during diploma graduation ceremonies in University of Vilnius, where we play. If, for example, in empty room, it's like 5 or more seconds of reverberation with full organ. But then, when the 3 or more hundred people come and pack into the building, it's completely dry
Yes,
environment.
it's dry and organ sounds much softer than it would be in an empty church. So you need always to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and play it louder if you want
Sure.
softer registrations, actually. Good. We hope this discussion was at least in part helpful to you, but you really need to get some expert advice on this, I think.
So I think the best advice would be for a future generation, before building a church, think, about acoustics. Because that's what should come first. And then, just worry about what kind of instrument you will put in that church.
Mm-hmm.
Building is the most important.
And then when you play in such environment, the beauty is that you can adjust your playing technique everywhere you go, in every different acoustical environment. And at first, when you just start playing in public and you have tried maybe just a few organs, it's really strange and uncomfortable to change your articulation, right, Osha?
That's true.
Somehow, if you are, for example, taught in a dry acoustical environment, then going to a cathedral, then it's really, you're playing basically legato or more or less legato, and it's completely frustrating to adjust right away. And vice versa, the opposite is true. If you are used to, spacious rooms and good acoustics, then going to a concert hall like this would be quite strange, right?
So I guess the most important thing is, to consider all these possibilities and to know what might, be waiting of you. So be ready in advance.
And when you play, listen to what the audience is hearing, right? To the echo.
Sure.
If it's even there, this echo. Sometimes they don't have echoes, but still, if there is no echo, you know that it's a dry room.
I know, and it's different feeling, because I remember playing in the States in several churches where basically you hold the last chord, and before even releasing the keys, it seems the sound already disappears. So acoustic is so dry that it's not dry, but it even eats your sound.
Like black hole.
I know it's a funny feeling, not a very nice feeling, but you get used to it as well.
Right. So the more you travel, the more experience you will have, and the less time you will need to adjust. Okay.
True.
But in Eddie's case, I think there isn't any possibility to do an acoustical environment of the cathedral out of let's say supermarket acoustic.
True.
Right?
True.
Maybe
Yes.
a little bit, 1 or 2 seconds of reverberation. That would be probably the best he can hope.
And actually 2 seconds, that's a nice acoustics. I would consider it a nice acoustics. Just as we had at Greece Lutheran Church in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
And again, it's nice when you practice alone, but when the big festivity is in a church full packed with people, then this disappears completely.
Sure.
What can you do?
But when the people voices just fill out the church. And it works well as well.
Thanks guys, this was Vidas.
And Ausra.
Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.